Okay guys, welcome to this special workshop. Now you guys are coming in at the moment, so if you want to drop in where you're from, that would be superb. We have Tracy here, she's coming in a second, and we are talking all about anxiety, and we're talking about people that are getting, just it's overcomplicated, all the tech side and those sort of stuff. It's a really big stumbling point. And Tracy really was really good. She did an interview with me about what she done and how she got into Zenler and how she was using it and how the struggles she faced and all of these things. And out of the back of that, I was like, do you know what? This is what you do anyway, so can you run a workshop? Because I think the mind thing is really important, and I know no other platform does this, like tries to help you overcome all of these kind of problems that are stopping you moving forwards. And it's a really big subject, and Tracy's broken this down into kind of 3 steps, so it's not a long workshop, and it's vital, and she's got lots of sheets and things to show you as well. So we've got loads of people coming in. Tracy, if you want to pop up like magic, that would be great. We've got Heather from California, we've got Charlotta from Sweden, Malmo, Sweden, Jackie from New York, good old New York, and we got a few other people in as well. Tracy, so good. Thank you so much for doing this for us, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you for having me, because this is a fantastic opportunity, and I've been there with stress and anxiety on getting my stuff out there on camera in front of others, and it can be a stumbling block for people. Not everybody. Some people find it quite an easy transition, but I was very used to working one-to-one. If I give you a little bit of history of who I am and what I do, I'm Tracy Woods. I'm from South Yorkshire, Britain, so it's great to see that we've got America, we've got Sweden, all these different places. It's just fantastic to see, and I welcome you all. But yeah, if I found it difficult to switch from one-to-one to then going on camera and passing my message to many, going from one-to-one to one-to-many. But I recognized, and it was particularly when when COVID came along. When COVID came along, it hit, didn't it? We were all told to stay at home. We couldn't work any longer. So obviously me working one-to-one, well, it was kind of, okay, what am I going to do for a while? And I thought, well, let's have a look at going online. People were already doing my type of work, which was kind of therapy work, transformations, coaching, that kind of thing. More and more was going online. So I thought, well, if they can, then I can. But of course, it's a totally different thing being online and speaking to camera to many people. But what I might ask David to do for me, for now, I was unsure which way to go with it, but I'm going to ask you, David, can we have cameras on? Are people happy to show their smiling face this afternoon, morning or evening, wherever you are?
Yeah, cameras are on. I've kept people muted, but if you want me to
Yeah.
unmute, it's
People
people's
can be
got
muted for now. We might open up. Oh, hello. Aileen, hello. Oh, we've got some faces now. Suzanne, it's so lovely to see your faces. Heather, great to see you. So thanks for putting the camera on, because I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. But yeah, I've been there where it was uncomfortable, but I stuck with it. There have been times when I thought I wasn't going to stick with it and I was going to just drop it. But I've stuck with it, and I've found how I can work with the mindset, because this is something that I've been doing one-to-one, working with the mindset. It's so important to get that switched on how you want it to be, because that is going to help you with your success. So as I mentioned, I've been helping people with transformation, from fearful to fearless, from stressed and anxious to stepping into their calm and owning that calm, where they can manage their anxiety, because obviously anxiety is a normal emotion. But when me and David were talking and about how how getting on camera can sometimes be a barrier for people. As he mentioned, he thought this would be great if I can come, I can sort of exchange my experience with you, I can share my experience with you. I won't be asking, people can later on, if you want, share some of your experiences. But nobody's going to be put on the spot and made to declare their biggest fear. Nobody's going to have to stand and do that this evening. But I just thought it would be great if I can share with you how I kind of work and prepare myself for coming on camera, because no matter how many workshops we do, how many classes that we learn, how much we start to understand all the tech, because that's a learning curve, isn't it, in itself, understanding all the tech, we've still then got to switch that camera on and see all these wonderful little faces in these tiles and go, hi, I'm Tracy Woods. And we feel quite exposed. And I don't know if anybody does feel that. Do you feel it's quite exposing, setting up a workshop, a class, your own creation of, yeah, Heather was there with a hand up. Charlie, that's great. Yeah, we're not on our own, guys. I felt quite exposed. And I understand that other people do too. But my big thing was I really wanted to get out there and spread my message, spread my learnings and understandings, share it with other people, get more and more people to step into their confidence, to own that calm inner strength that you all have. But sometimes we forget that we've got it and we go and find something else to do. We make every excuse not to do it and get in front of the camera. So if you can just put in the chat, if you've ever got yourself so far down the line and then gone, I can't do it, and you've just closed the book on it for now, just a yes or a no. Has anybody sort of got, I don't feel, all right, let's have a look, Aileen, I don't feel so exposed, but mostly when I record myself for an online course. That's brilliant, right? Okay. Not consciously, but I suspect, yes. And that's great. We'll talk a little bit about conscious and subconscious. And then there's a few yes, absolutely. Few no's, that's fantastic. And those that don't feel that great fear of getting out on camera, I still hope today that you might just pick up a few nuggets that might help you with some anxiety, might help you with some stress. So it just helps you make another step towards your success, to allow yourself, and Zoe, I think she's put it varies. Yeah, it varies. To help you to allow yourself to have that success that you so want. Let me just have a look what else we've got on there. I practice when I build my courses. Fantastic, because it's all about practice makes perfect, isn't it? Right, Sarah or Sarah. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I don't like how I look or sound, so that stops me. Okay, right, Sarah, I want you to pay close attention this evening. Oh, David Zenler said you look amazing. I've not got your little tile up on my screen at the moment, and he said maybe talk later, and that'd be a great idea. Yeah, please don't let that stop you. I've got a Yorkshire accent. I try and make myself clear, but I do come from Yorkshire, and I'm proud of it, and I own that accent. And people we've got on tonight, I'm sure there'll be lots of various accents out there. But that's something I want to talk about. We very often put ourselves off from going on camera because we don't like how we look. We don't like how we sound. But I always say, as long as you can make yourself look presentable, because if I came out here tonight and I'd got, I don't know, dinner down my front and I've not even bothered to comb my hair, I'm sure you'd think, I'm not really quite sure about this Tracy. I'm not really sure, just how serious she is about this. But, Sarah, if we just make ourselves presentable, brush our hair, put some clean clothes on, make ourselves feel good, then that takes you up another notch on your confidence, because that of how you don't like how you look or sound, it is showing that, there's an issue with confidence going on. And as David said, maybe talk later, and it's something that I can perhaps have a chat with you about, Sarah, one-to-one if you wish. Oh, Zoe Carter was born in Sheffield, but my parents moved, so I didn't get too much of an accent right. Sheffield is bang next door to where I live. I'm from Rotherham, and so Zoe would have had a Yorkshire accent, but she's moved away from the sounds of it. And yeah, Suzanne is not confident to do videos in English. That's not her first language, so need to get over it. Like to launch international, and yeah, why not? We can do that, can't we? This is the World Wide Web, and we can launch internationally now. There's nothing to stop us, and the only thing that's stopping you is yourself. Once you've got the hang of the tech, once you've kind of got okay with that, and we all talk about, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to get it done. And so practice, practice, practice. And I'll have a chat later because there might be an opportunity for us to get together and do a bit of practice away from here. Do a bit of practice. So that might be something that interests some of you. But yeah, I kind of built up a preparation for me going out on camera, not just brushing my hair, not just getting a clean jumper on or whatever, but also preparing my mindset, preparing me and allowing myself for success, that I'm worthy of this. And I've got a message that I think will truly, truly help you. And so if you want to come along and if you want to hear what my message is, I would love it, because I would like to help you and I would like to help your success, because your success is my success. So this is where we start to switch on that mindset. And I'm just going to mention, I don't really make apologies for it, but I do like to tell people I'm old school and I have paper notes. Does anyone else have paper notes? I'll see Charlie's just, yeah, a few nods, a few no's. And I hope one day I might sort of move away from paper notes, but I love the written word. I love notes. Very often, depending on how quickly I've written them, I can't read them, but I feel secure with my paper notes. I've not yet transitioned into this wonderful, is it like a tele, oh, I don't know, where it brings up all the words for you, and I've not got that yet. Yeah, David's put, Tracy was searching for paper earlier. Yes, I was. But yeah, I've got paper notes, so I might be looking down and just checking in. Have I covered the point that I wanted to get across on this? So just bear with me if I'm doing that. But I am old school with some stuff, and I do like paper notes. But yeah, if I can ask people, Sarah's already said, and someone else, Suzanne, said, not confident to do videos because English isn't her first language. So yeah, get confident with using the language, Suzanne. And you never know, teleprompter, thank you. And you never know, there might be people who would be happy to, let's get together, let's have a practice with something, and we'll see how, we'll see how we work through things. But amongst all that, I think one of the common themes is we can get a little anxious before we're due to go online. Can anybody, if you want to put a yes or a no, does that ring true for anybody on this class? If you just put in the comments, yes or a Y or an N, the anxiety can get in the way. We get a bit dry mouthed. Yes, no, yes. David Zenler, no, I should hope not, David. Heather, yes, 100%, Zoe. And I don't know how anxiety shows for you, whether you get the, oh yeah, Maria likes a bit of a challenge. And that's what it is, isn't it, Maria? It's a bit of a challenge for you to overcome. But sweaty palms, dry mouth, the heart starts beating faster, and you think, well, everybody on camera who's here tonight must hear this heartbeat, because it's pounding out of your chest. This is anxiety. This is anxiety, but I don't want it to stop you from doing what you want to do. You deserve success, I'm sure. And everybody here, I'm guessing you're a course creator, you're a coach, you're a therapist of some sort. You have a message to give. And the, if you like, the bridge between you and the audience is the camera. And so we're going to walk over that bridge. We're going to get to our audience, and we're going to deliver our message with much more confidence in a calm manner. So what if people are happy to, and only if you're happy to, how does your anxiety show up? Do you get the sweaty palms? Do you get the beating of the heart? Do you get the shortness of breath, or the dry mouth? Or does anxiety show up that sometimes all your words just drop out of your head completely and you can't even remember your own name? If somebody was to ask you, and what's your name? Um, these are the things that can happen to us when we're struggling with anxiety. And that then stops us from taking on that challenge and doing it. Because what we find with anxiety, we're worrying about stuff in the future, aren't we? We're worrying about the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? Let me just have a little look what's coming up on this screen. Oh yeah, David's put, remember this is a safe space, and I'm sorry, yeah, it is, guys. I start talking too fast. That can be one of mine, actually. Uh, David says, so do I. When I'm anxious, I become self-conscious. I don't flow as well. Yep, I understand that. I put myself, all right, Suzanne, I put myself in a great state before, and I'm certain that I get it when I need it, I'm getting it when I need it. Maybe a little bit of heart race, but I always think if you're not a little anxious, you don't care enough. Yeah, you see, we all get nerves, but we want to challenge those, we want to channel, sorry, those nerves, don't we, into an energy that's going to transform your audience, that's going to keep your audience engaged. So I thank you so much for sharing all these bits of information with me, because it just shows that you're not on your own. Other people get this as well. But if we start to see it as a challenge that you can overcome, because you can. Suzanne says she doesn't put her focus on the audience. Sorry, put the focus on the audience, not on me. And that's right. Yeah. And, if you have got a message to give, then it's your service to do that, isn't it? It's your service to do that. You've turned up here because you want to know there might be just one little thing that is going to make your work easier for you. There might be just one thing that makes it easier for you to go, right, I'm doing it. I'm going to set a date and then I can't get out of it. And I'm going to work on myself between now and that date. Because as I say, you will understand your subject. You will know what you want to talk about. You will know what you're going to say. It's just the anxiety will creep in. It hijacks you. It takes you off somewhere. And then we kind of make all the excuses, and sometimes, sadly, even say, you know what, I'll go and wash the kitchen floor. The kitchen floor needs washing. I'll not do it tonight. Sometimes I've had the cleanest kitchen floor. But thank you for sharing all that about what comes up for you, what happens with you when you're feeling a little anxious, because you're not on your own. Even look, David's even said, I do not get nervous, but more than it not going to be but know that it's not going to be it may not be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, does it? Because we're all human, and we're not actually performing, well, I wouldn't have thought heart surgery or something like that. We're allowed a little room, of we don't have to be perfect. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. And there might be some of you who are quite aware on the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, but it's the subconscious that creates all our thought, that sort of is underlying or behind our thought patterns, all our behaviors. And if we've got a mindset of, I believe that I can do it, then I can, because I've got that belief. If my belief is I can't do it, I get super anxious, it's all going to go wrong, all the words just drop out of my head. What if the tech goes wrong? And I've had experience of that, and I know David's had experience of the tech not going quite yet. Suzanne's waving. She's had experience of that. Do you know what? You deal with it. And the worst thing is you just switch everything off and contact everybody apologizing by email that we'll reschedule. So, it does happen. But what I wanted to say is if you believe that you can't do it, you'll be perfectly right. You can't. So I want to build some confidence within you and give you a few little tricks to start building that confidence that, you know what, I can. Okay, I might still feel a little anxious. I might still feel a little nervous, but I'm going to channel those nerves into something that I can do, and I'm going to prove it to myself. So we talk about pushing boundaries, don't we? We talk about pushing boundaries because on the other side of that, keeping myself safe, I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to clean the kitchen floor instead, and I'll clean the oven. Anything but face that camera and face the audience. Pushing those boundaries just allows you to take on that challenge, to know deep in your heart that you can do it and that you're going to do it because you deserve that success. And your audience deserves to know what wonderful message you've got to give, what teachings you've got to share. So pushing the boundaries is a good thing because on the other side of the boundary is where your success is, where your fulfillment is, where your sense of purpose is. So it's good to push those boundaries and to know that anxiety doesn't own you. You can take charge of that anxiety. It's an emotion. You can regulate it. It's there for good reason. And anxiety is there to actually keep us safe. You know, anxiety creates this fight or flight within us. And now in modern day times, this freeze with us that, you know, we freeze, we can't do it. But because of course, I'm not going to stand here and battle with everybody on screen. That's not going to be good fun, isn't it? Is it? And I can't run, can I? I can't leg it out the door, just pull my screen down and leg it out the door. But I don't want to freeze either. But about talking, we are fantastic, fallible humans. We are, aren't we? We are. But if we just break it down to start building some little exercises that we can do to take charge of that anxiety. And they are simple. And everything that I'm going to tell you about tonight are things that I use. Sometimes I don't always use it if I feel great, but I always do a little bit of a warm-up in some shape or form. But what I'm going to share with you tonight is only going to take you roughly 60 seconds. Because when I've worked one-to-one with people and they've come with some big issue, life is quite stressful. Life is quite busy, isn't it? You know, you're juggling all sorts, juggling work, business, home life, kids, etc., etc. Life is very busy. Now, if I said to you, right, I want you to, after this call, then go and spend an hour and a half teaching what I've given you tonight. And before you go to bed, do another half hour. When you get up in the morning, do 2 hours of this work. I'm not going to do it. Forget that. I do believe that we should keep things simple. And David actually on this afternoon was introducing what we were going to do this evening and talking about keep it simple. We can overcomplicate things, and as humans, we often do. Tracy, don't run off. I won't, David. Not just yet. We as humans can make things really, really complicated because we don't always believe that it can be that simple. But as David on the introduction this afternoon said, you know, don't worry about having all the bells and whistles. So if you are very, very new to going on you know, online and using your camera and reaching your audience via the camera, keep it simple. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles. I've learned how to do a background screen, and I love having that on now with my name and, you know, be the best version of you. I love having that on there, but you don't need that. But that again is something simple. It's just about finding out about these things and learning them. But the important thing is to get out there and start doing it. So what I'm going to ask you now, I'm going to ask you a little question. And I think most of my questions, there's no right or wrong answer really, because it's all about you and your experience and how you feel. But I'm going to ask, and if you can give a Y or an N, yes or no in the comments, do you consider that you have a good imagination? Yes or no? You don't need to give it to, yes, Fiona, David, yes. Oh, lots of yeses. That is lovely. Lots of yeses. Well, I want you to be quite playful with the stuff that I'm going to give you this evening or this morning, wherever you are. Oh, Heather, too good. Right. Sometimes we can use our imagination. I don't know if this is what you mean, Heather, but sometimes we can use our imagination to create up the most horrid scenario, the most awful thing that you could imagine about going on camera to your audience. And so that stops us, doesn't it? That stops us from doing it. But we can, on the opposite end of the scale, we can use our imagination to make a wonderful scenario in our mind, to gain that confidence, to give us more calm, step into that calm you. So it's great to hear that some people have got a good imagination. For those who, I mean, we all have a good imagination, and as kids, it wasn't a problem, was it? As we get older, we are told by our peers and our adults, mum, dad, parents, carers, teachers, to stop being daft, to stop daydreaming, to forget it, that's just a dream. And so our imagination sometimes diminishes and we become very analytical with everything. Well, a lot of my work is using words and pictures. So basically your imagination. And you know, if you play along with this stuff, then it does work. It does have an impact on your mindset. So, because that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be a little bit playful with our imagination. And the next question I'm going to ask you in a second, because let me just see if I've missed anything on this chat. Last week, I tried writing on my iPad showing like a camera green screen. My iPad was on screen safe and I disappeared several times before I understood why. Yeah, practice with yourself, just setting up and talking to Zoom, talking to no one. Just practice setting up and getting it all going. We've all done all sorts of daft things. So let me ask you this question now, and it'll all become clear shortly. But if I was to ask you, who would your superhero be? A superhero to you who had confidence, who had that calm inner strength, who could just everything kind of fell into place. Who would that superhero be? And if you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic to share it. And I'll explain a little more. So somebody who you admire, they could be living, oh, Byron Katie, fantastic. They could be living, deceased, Bugs Bunny, I love it, I love it. My dad, fantastic David, Chirag Patel, I don't know who that is, but that sounds good. Yeah, it can be a celebrity, it can be a family friend, and sort of go with the gut. Kate Winslet, yeah, wow, I love it. Well, one of mine, and the main one that I go to is Madonna. I'm an 80s girl. I was growing up ready to go out and hit the world in the 80s. So Madonna, I've gone through all the decades with Madonna, and she's kept transforming herself, hasn't she? Whether you love her or hate her, it doesn't really matter, does it? But this is someone to me who has the confidence. Can I say it on here? She's got balls, hasn't she? She's got the confidence to get out there, transform herself, come back bigger and better. She's been pulled to bits. She's had all sorts of negativity. She's had a difficult time in her younger years. She's worked in the music industry, but she doesn't let any of that, is still working in the music industry, should I say, but and it's been a difficult male-dominated industry, but she doesn't let any of that stop her from coming back stronger. So I admire her, and that's my superhero. So I'm going to get on to the real meat of it now, is how can we start building a calmer, more confident you so you can get on screen without so much of a dry mouth, without hearing your own heartbeat coming out of your chest, without the sort of shortness of breath. Let's get to the crux of it. And there's 3 steps that I use. So your camera ready, you've got your clean top on, you brushed your hair, your camera ready, you know your subject. You know your subject. And you've taken, before you've, I think Zenler, we kind of allow ourselves 15 minutes, don't we, before we kind of hit that button and welcome everybody in. But if you want before that 15 minutes, do a little warm up. And the warm up is to slow everything down. Somebody said that they can often speak quite fast, and they get faster and faster. If they get more anxious, they'll get faster and faster in what they say. We want to slow everything down. We want to sit back and just relax with it, because you know what you want to talk about and you know what you want to deliver if you've done your preparation. But getting the mindset right is another preparation, but it'll not take you long to do. So somebody's attended Tony Robbins, attending his university made a big impact on my life. I bet, Susan, I bet it did. Fantastic. Sorry, got distracted by the chat. So the first thing, the three steps that I want you to start doing is, first of all, breathe. Does anybody notice when they get anxious, they don't breathe? We hold on to it and then we're, oh yeah, breathe. Don't forget, breathe. So we want to slow down, and we want to take 3 nice deep breaths. We breathe in through the nose. If you can nasal breathe, we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And actually, I'm going to ask David. Are you there, David? Hello, David. Can I ask you a big favor? Are you able to switch off everybody's mute, or does everybody have to do it themselves? You're on mute at the minute, David. I can't.
Everybody is muted, Tracy.
Right, no, that's fine. I was going to ask, can you switch the mute off, or does everybody have to switch it off them individually?
Yeah, I can let them unmute themselves.
Can you let them on loose?
I'll let you loose. Guys, you're loose.
Because what I want us to do 3 nice deep breaths. If you would switch your mute button off, but I want to hear you breathe. I want to hear you are breathing. So there might be all sorts of noises coming across now, but let's do 3 nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. A nice big breath in. And on the out breath, you don't have to be quiet. Normally you'd be doing this on your own, so you can be as noisy as whatever you wish. But on here, I just want to hear people's breathing, so I know that you're doing it. So let's do it together. A nice big breath in. Are you ready? And brilliant, I can hear somebody. And when you're ready, out through the mouth. I can't hear people. I know you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. You must be doing it really, really subtly. Let's do it
We're
again.
doing it loud, Tracy, so you can't hear it. We're all doing it.
I'm too loud, you say?
Yes.
Can you hear me breathing?
Yeah.
Another nice big, you see, let's have fun with it. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Let's have fun with it. Another nice big breath in. And blow out. As if you're blowing up a balloon. Another nice one. Brilliant. When I hear the replay then, am I only going to hear myself?
Yeah,
Right.
I'll increase the volume. I'm sure I can pick up some noise.
Great. Thanks for indulging me in that, everyone. That's just a bit of fun, but it's a serious bit of fun, because this is what I want you to do before you switch on that camera. Okay, I want you to do 3 nice deep breaths. If you don't know anything about breath work, now some of you on here may do, and I suspect a few of you will know about breath work, but using the breath is so powerful. Don't underestimate. We breathe all the time. If we weren't breathing, we wouldn't be, I'd have fallen off my chair by now. But we breathe all the time. But when we start to breathe mindfully and use deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, getting rid of all the stagnant air from the bottom of the lungs. We're switching on our rest and digest phase. We're switching on our relaxation system, okay? And if we're more relaxed, we can own that calm. If we're more calm, we have less worry over whether we'll remember our names or not. We'll have less worry over delivering the message. So slow it down. There's something very interesting that I came across recently about breathing, and just naturally now, let's say from 30, 40, 50 years ago, we are breathing, our breathing has become much quicker, which isn't a good thing really. When we are breathing quicker, we are sending messages, we are sending a message to our subconscious part of the mind that we're on alert, we're ready to make a run for it or fight for our lives or freeze with fear. We are building ourselves up to more anxiety. We're adding fuel to the fire of that anxiety. So let's switch that anxiety off by slowing everything down, breathing steadily, breathing slowly, mindfully, so that we switch on that relaxation response, so that we can step into that calm self and own it, okay? Which you can then bring to your course, your class, your workshop, whatever it is, so you can get your message across much more clearly. And it will help you slow down with speaking. I can't remember who it was who said they have a tendency to speed up. It'll help you slow down with your speaking. So that's the first step. The second step, we're going to use your superhero. So those of you who got the superhero, this is where that comes in. So as I say, I want you to be playful with it. You know, there's no hard or fast rules that you must have this person and it's got to be somebody who is like this, but just somebody who's confident, who is cool and calm and collected, and who knows how to get their message across. So what we next want to do is, I'll not do this now because I'll lose you all, but we would stand up from where we're going to deliver our course, our class, our workshop. We'd get up from this chair, I'd walk away from the chair and I'd look back at that chair. And for those of you who heard a few moments ago, my superhero is Madonna. And guess what? I see Madonna sat in my chair in my headquarters at home. I see Madonna sat in my chair and she's about ready to go on and deliver this message. And she's going to deliver it with inner strength. She's going to deliver it with calm, confidence. And then I'm going to sit in that chair. I'd come back to that chair, I sit in that chair, and I've got a bit of that Madonna. I've got a bit of that calm confidence, or I've got a lot of that calm confidence to come in and switch on and welcome you all. Hello, my name is Tracy Woods. Thank you very much for being here. It's lovely to see all those smiling faces. And we take it from there. So I'd love to hear how you get on with that. Do let me know. Do let me know. The third step is your intention. So we've done the breathing. We've had Madonna sat in my chair. Whoever your superhero is, they're sat in your chair or stood if you're going to deliver something from a standing position. But where is your intention? Once again, before you switch on that camera, before you go for it, I'm going to intend that we have a good time tonight. I'm going to intend that I deliver my message. Charlotte's just put a wonderful picture up of her dog. Well, I'm assuming it's her dog. But I'm going to intend to have a great time. Oh, my superhero. That's fantastic. I'm going to intend to have a fantastic time tonight. I'm going to see lots of smiling faces, which I have done, which is just so lovely because it's encouraging rather than people nodding off. Lots of wonderful faces, and we're going to have a good time. I'm going to get my point across clearly. And if people have got questions, that's even better. That's even better because that means you're engaged. That means you've shown an interest in what I'm doing, and that means you're learning. Okay, so brilliant. 3 steps. So BSI, be careful what the BS stands for because that's breath, breathe. superhero, and your intention. So that you can wrap up in 60 seconds, but you can keep doing it. You don't have to do it the once and think, well, that means I'm super confident now for the rest of all time. Keep doing it. You've got to build and you've got to work at this. Our subconscious mind will always, always follow the path of least resistance. So if you are quite anxious about getting on camera, about delivering your message online, then the path of least resistance is to, what the heck, I'll do it another time. I'll go and clean that oven. Yeah, can you imagine that being your path of least resistance, going and cleaning the oven? It's madness, isn't it? So we need to rewire the mind into a different path of least resistance. And my path of least resistance now is I breathe, I bring in my superhero, and I set my intention. And then I've slowed everything down. I'm comfortable in my chair, and I'm on it. I know where I'm going with this. So yeah, David's got it. BSI, breath, superhero, and intention. That's what we're looking at. There's loads more to do with anxiety, but just to get you on screen, this is going to be a great, or get you on screen a lot more calmer, feeling more confident in first opening up, then this is a wonderful little exercise for you to do. And what I am going to suggest to you, if you want, if you're going to have a go at this, is don't just wait 15 minutes before you go on screen. Practice this even when you're not going to go on screen. You might want to practice it before you pick up the phone and speak to a client one-to-one on the phone. Just practice it anytime. You don't have to just leave it for that one time before you go on screen, because you are building up the path of least resistance to being able to get on camera with calm confidence. So has anybody got any questions about that part of it? I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory, isn't it? And I thank you. It looks like David's put you all on mute again, or you've done yourself on mute. That's fantastic. Because what I want to share with you now, and some of you may have come across this actually. Oh, any questions, raise hands. That's what David's put. Thanks, David. What I want to share with you is something from Marianne Williamson. Just give us a quick wave or a thumbs up or something if people have come across Marianne Williamson. I've not actually read any of her books, but there's an excerpt from one of her books, which is Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. So you may have come across it. And it's our deepest fear. Now, apparently, this was part of Nelson Mandela's inaugural speech in 1994. And I just think this is wonderful. And I thought, I reminded myself about it when I thought about putting this workshop on with David. And it's our deepest fear. So you may have heard this. Heather has said she's reading it right now for the third time because it's amazing. There you go. Everybody get that book. Marianne Williamson, Return to Love. Our deepest fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. Oh, somebody's put it up on here. Fantastic. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I mean, isn't that just brilliant? And I think it's so on point. We should shine our light, and in all seriousness, it's now time to shine your light. You've got a message to give. It's important to you. It's going to be important to others. and the right people will find you, and the right people will come, and the right people will listen. And so it's time to shine. It's time to share with others. So step into that calm, confident you and do what you know. So yeah, David, don't doubt your brilliance. Don't doubt your brilliance. So have a few people heard that before? I think some of you will, yeah, some of you will have, and I just think it's lovely, because it is the darkness that frightens us. We become fearful, you know, and it's when we keep ourselves in the dark, but when we step into that light and let ourselves shine, that's when we step into our brilliance. And it, you know, we should share it with everyone else. Now, us being British, you know, we're known for stiff upper lip. We're known for shying away and not blowing our own trumpet. I don't know whether any other nations have come across that term. Who do you think you are to blow your own trumpet? But when we're course creators, when we've got a powerful message that we think is important for others to know about, we need to blow our own trumpet. So get out there, do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mistakes will happen, things will go wrong, but you know what? We're all human, and thankfully we're not performing heart surgery or anything like that. We can afford a few little scrapes, a few mistakes, and as I say, the worst comes to the worst, you shut your laptop and you send an email out and apologize and rearrange, you know, and people generally are forgiving. People generally are forgiving. So yeah, be big, be bold. That's what David says. So has anyone got any other questions or any comments that they want to bring up? Anything that they've found about themselves, or anything that they would like to share? And you don't have to, by the way, you don't have to. Oh, I thought I saw somebody's hand then. I have got one last thing if people would like to do it. One last thing to share with you is we're going to do a little visualization. We're going to do a little visualization, and all it will involve is what you've been doing all night, sitting and listening. But I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, because I want you to be playful with your imagination. And it doesn't matter whether your imagination, you imagine in Technicolor, whether you imagine in pictures or not, because some people don't always. David's raised his hand. Let's hear what David has got to say. David.
Yeah, I've just there's a Charlie has put in here. Not Charlie, Margaret has put in here. I thought this was quite interesting. I wanted to know your feeling on it.
Ah.
Finns are well known for not wanting to bring attention to themselves. There's a lot of nationalities are like that. So what do you feel about that?
Well, I kind of understand, because, you know, as a child, perhaps quite a few people will understand this. As a child, you know, we were brought up to have manners, and some of those manners were don't speak unless you're spoken to. When you're in public, this is when you're meeting people and you're in public as a child. We're told, you know, don't be quiet. You don't speak up. You can speak when you're spoken to. It sounds very Victorian, doesn't it, when I say that? But, you know, we were brought up because it was seen as good manners. And it is good manners, isn't it? It is good manners. But what I would say to you, Margaret, is, you know, I mentioned again about Brits. We're told, you know, who do you think you are to blow your own trumpet? You know, pipe down. You know, but when we've got an important message, you just remind yourself of what your message is. Remind yourself, Margaret, of who you want to help and why you want to help them. Why is your message important? And I'm going to ask you, Margaret, and you don't have to come on, but would you want to share with us right now what your message is? Is it dog training? I don't want the whole story, but is it dog training? Is it personal training? Is it cooking? Is it knitting? Would you be happy to share with us on live now, with unmuted, or would you want to put it in chat?
I can talk to you.
Hello, Margaret. Yeah,
Yeah.
what what's your message that you would love to get out there? What is it?
I teach a health exercise that was developed in Finland, and it's so simple, anyone can do it. So there's no excuse why you couldn't do it. We need to convince people that even though they think that I can't exercise, I have some illness or I have some disability, just the opposite. They should be thinking, because I have this disability or I have this illness, I should be exercising every day, many times a day. And the exercise that we have is in small, you can divide it up into small pieces and do it in 2 or 3 minute segments throughout the day.
I can see the benefit of that. If you remember, I mentioned, didn't I, that the stuff that I do, I try my hardest to keep it simple. And I also encourage people, it'll only take a few moments out of the day, because we are busy. We're all stressed, busy lives. But it's so important to find time to exercise. It's so important to find time to work on your own mindset. And as I mentioned, if I said to you, right, after this, Margaret, go away and spend 3 hours looking through this again and researching stuff, it's like, oh, I'm busy, I've got stuff to do. But I love what you said, your exercise you can do in minutes. And it's easy and it's simple. So I'm going to say, if you do want to keep in touch, get my email. I'll perhaps put it in the chat or something. So to let us know, let me know where we can find you. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because I think your message is great. We all need to exercise. We all need to keep our bodies healthy.
It's actually a mind-body thing. I mean, with the slow breathing, it relaxes your mind. So it's a whole lot what people need.
That's what I'm thinking. We've got some overlap. I don't know your exercise, but we've got some overlap in, to improve ourselves physically and mentally. We've got exercise. We've got imagination. We've got food. We don't always want to go for, tablets and lotions and potions. But anyway, I will move on from that. But it'd be great if we kept in touch, Margaret. So, I'll perhaps put something up with my email and you can just drop me a note. That'd be fantastic. And that offer is out to anyone else, by the way. So thank you for coming and sharing that, because it is a big thing. But you to get your message out, and it is difficult. We do shy away from shouting about what we do. But just remind yourself how important your message is and how easy it is for people to learn your exercise routine. And I will admit, I don't have time to go to I used to love to go to the gym for 2 hours a day, or 2 hours every other day, shall I say. I don't want to spend that time in the gym any longer, but I want to maintain some health and well-being, so your type of exercise is fantastic. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Have I got any other notes or anything? Yeah, helping women embrace their feminine energy and come back into balance. Gosh, we all need balance. Men and women, I think we all need balance in our lives. Help people identify the why that is underneath health or emotional issues. Yeah. These are all such important things that we want to share with others, because we know that what we know can actually help others. So yeah, when we are shy about shouting about what we do, because it's either, from being children, we were told to be quiet, or just the nation, generally the nation of people are not taught to be so loud and out there, then it's a challenge to overcome. It's a challenge to overcome. So anyone else got any questions or anything that they'd like to mention? I hope I've not. Yeah, I facilitate people to identify and question their stressful beliefs. Oh yeah, we like to make things stressful, don't we? We really, really do. Tools to parents so they can support their children to have security from the inside instead of seeking it from the outside. Yeah, so everybody's got a brilliant message, haven't they? So get your message out there. Right, one last exercise, unless anybody's got anything burning. And if you have, please put your hand up if you've got anything burning that you want to share with the group, share on here. The last thing that I wanted to do is once again be a little playful with our imaginations, and I'm going to take you on a little visualization, and it's only going to last moments. It's only going to last moments, and it's going to be a visualization on success, on strength, your success, your calm, your confidence. So I want everybody to sit back in their chair, and I want you to gently close your eyelids. So nothing strange is going to happen, but just gently close your eyelids. All I'm going to do is just ask you to listen to my words. So I asked you earlier, didn't I, about, who is your superhero? So with your eyes closed, just get an image or get in your mind who your superhero is. I want you to just see how they act. Notice how they breathe. Even when there's a challenge going on, notice how they respond to situations, how they respond to challenges. I want you to notice just what's confident about them. Maybe it's their posture. Maybe it's how they speak. Maybe it's their breath. You notice that they breathe slowly and easily, that their breath just seems effortless. So I want you, while you've got your eyes closed and you're just listening to me, I want you to take 3 nice deep breaths, breathing in and out. And I want you to imagine breathing in of that calm from that superhero. That's right. And on the out breath, just let go of any of the day's frustrations. Breathing in calm comfort. And breathing out frustration. Breathing out any of the day's busyness. And let's slow everything down. Slowing it right down to a nice, easy, comfortable pace. That's right, something that's comfortable for you. Because this is your time to shine. Now you've got this. I have confidence in you. You have confidence in your message. And so trust yourself. Learn to trust yourself. And just allow a seed of self-trust to form inside of you, whether that be inside the tummy, inside the chest, and let it grow. Let that seed of confidence and self-trust now expand within you. It growing within you, that calm confidence. Because this is the real you. You own that calm confidence, and this is the real you. And you feel yourself shine from the inside out. You send out your energy, a vibrant energy. That vibrant energy that others are drawn to. This is the real you, the bright, vibrant you, the calm you. You have something to share. You have something to share that will help, that will enlighten others. Teaching others something that they can value, that they can use, that will help them. And I want you now in your mind's eye to see yourself sat in front of your laptop computer with your camera on, And I want you to see lots of smiling faces, little square tiles of smiling faces. See everyone eager to hear what you've got to say. See everyone eager to understand what it is that you're teaching. And I want you to notice how good that feels. Where inside of you that feels so good that there are people that want to know about you. There are people that want to know what your message is, that is going to help them, that is going to make their life easier, more simpler, that is going to improve their health, their well-being. See all those faces, nods, see everybody smiling. And just notice how good that feels. And I want you now to take that breath in and almost a sigh, like a sigh of relief. Just like when you get home from having been shopping and you let go of those heavy shopping bags and, I can put my feet up. It feels good. So I want you now, when you're ready, when you feel able to come back to the here and now, to open your eyes. I welcome you all back. And we've got the lovely Margaret still on the big screen. Margaret, I've got you on my big screen. And I can see she's moving her shoulders. Her body is feeling more comfortable. And it feels great. So I hope you're all back. I hope you've opened your eyes. I hope you all had a lovely journey with lots of interested people staring back at you, smiling and encouraging you. Is there anybody who'd just like to share? It only lasted moments, that share how that was for them. Were you all being playful with your imagination? That was refreshing. Thank you, Heather. That's wonderful. That was refreshing. And when we feel refreshed, we're good to go, aren't we? You know, we can do this. And I believe in you. So has anybody got any questions? It looks like David's going to export this message as an audio file so people can play it. It'll be on the replay page. And also, also Tracy's email will be there in case you want to reach out. So yeah, that will be on there. I'll make sure that goes on. David will let you have that. But that kind of wraps it up for tonight. So don't forget BSI. Don't get confused as what the BS stands for. It's breath, breathe, slow down. Get your superhero in gear. You're going to step into that superhero and own it. And set your intention for a fantastic class, a fantastic course, a fantastic recording, because it's not going to go any other way. And see everybody's faces in your own mind, smiling back at you. And Heather said, great energy here today. So thank you for that, Heather. That's great. So one last thing then, to wrap everything up. I did have a couple of cheat sheets that I was going to show you, but it's everything that I've spoke about. So if you do want the cheat sheets of the three steps, reach out with an email and I can send that out to you. That's not a problem. But yeah, to finish off, I've got, if people would like to keep in contact, then please find me on Facebook for my Facebook group. I've got a brand new group. There's nobody in there yet except me. It's getting a little bit lonely in there, but I've only just set it up. I've just set it up recently. And the Facebook group is the Manifestation Station portal. And this can go in there. I'm just looking if I've got, bear with me.
If you drop it into the chat, then people will probably grab it.
Yeah.
We'll also put that into the page, so you guys know, like the replays, I'm going to, because that was a nice little audio for you to maybe put on your phones and you can listen before you go to lives. So I'll extract that out and I'll do that as an MP4 so you can put it on your phones and you can just play it before things, because I think these things are really important. These clear message, you know, this almost like a meditation, like 60 seconds, a minute before you come on camera. It might get to a case that after you've done it like 20, 30 times that you don't need it, and you're just already confident, and you get that feeling come back to you and you can just go ahead and do it. But do you notice it's like Tracy's gone through all this stuff and all of it had to do with her mind, and that's the only thing that is stopping you guys from doing stuff. So I think that was a brilliant one. Thank you so much, Tracy, for putting that together for us.
Well, thank you. Can I just mention, I've put the link in there to the private, it's a private group. You'll have to sort of request to join. But it's going to be full of like-minded people who want to manifest more in their lives, whether that be in business or their personal life. And it's going to be working on mindset. It's going to build up, we're going to build up a library of content over a period of time. But what I wanted to say, if somebody is totally brand new to this business of getting on in front of a camera and would like some practice, the first 3 people to get into that group, and I'll see who comes up first. The first 3 people that come into that group, the first 3 people and David, I'm going to offer to you, you know, a 30-minute, let's set something up. Let's just have a little practice. I'm going to listen to you. You know, you've been great. I'm so grateful for you joining this evening. You've listened to me. It has took us a lot longer than half an hour, but, you know, I hope you're all happy with that. I hope that's okay. But you've been so kind to come and listen to me. You know, 30 minutes, let's set something up where I'll listen to you. Margaret's got a wonderful message, and so many other people have from what I've seen on here. Maria, that's great. Goodbye, Maria. I hope you got something out of this. So yeah, the first 3, now it's going to be the first 4 people to join. We can get together and we can have a practice. We can have a practice, because practice does make perfect. Practice kind of helps us kind of realize, oh, actually, I was worrying about nothing. You know, I was worrying about nothing. Don't let that anxiety hijack you. You are so much better than that anxiety, and it doesn't own you. You're in charge here. It's an emotion, and we do need it at times. We do need to have a bit of anxiety at times, but not about spreading your message. You've got some wonderful messages to spread, and people want help. There are so many people out there wanting and needing help. And I think that's about it. I'm just checking if there's anything else that I have missed. That's about it. So thank you, David, for doing this with me today. I'm so grateful for that. So grateful. And I'm grateful for everyone who's come here this evening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tracy. And guys, for coming in and taking this on, because I think this is probably, I would say this is the biggest stumbling block of course creators. Even experienced people have problems with certain areas, and if you can tackle the mind, then you can literally do anything. And people, they don't understand this, that these sort of things that we have for the mind, we haven't got hundreds of people that sign up to come into these workshops, but they should be the most popular, because they're the basis of everything. You know, the rest of the stuff that I teach you is all teach you. Do 1, 2, 3. This stuff is in the mind. This can help you not just with courses. This can help you with everything. And that is just...
Yeah, sorry, David. Help with relationships, help in your personal life, you know. It's not just, you know, getting the mindset right just expands so much good that you've got in your, you know, in your life, potential that you've got. So sorry, David, I butted in there.
No, absolutely fine. That's what I normally do. No, I think I have a big thing with, and I try and, like, I'm quite confident on camera because I've done hundreds and hundreds of these things, but I still have this thing, and I notice it, that it's quite hard sometimes for me to have those quiet period of just silence. I will always try to, even though I don't even know it, I'm trying to fill it up with things. When I don't need to, I could just stop, have a think, and then carry on. Now, there's a slight fine line between too much hesitancy and going too fast. You know, some people go too long with silence and they lose people. So you need to keep a rhythm going. But that having a little bit of space is really good. And I should know this because in design, I talk about giving stuff space, but I don't do that for myself. I don't give myself space. I continually, so it's all mental. It's all the mental side of things and keeping on top of these things.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
Lovely, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tracy. The replay will be up tomorrow. I will put in there. I know Tracy has some cheat sheets. Actually, she was going to screen share, but she decided to open the cameras up to everybody. So I was confused.
Sorry.
We're live, but absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. And lots of new faces in here as well. So I'm imprinting with all of you. I want to see you on more workshops, okay? I've imprinted all your faces, so I'll be recognizing you when you come in. Okay. Thank you,
Brilliant.
Tracy. Guys,
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.